American Girl released a doll and a book that includes some local landmarks. Evette, The River and Me is about a biracial girl's efforts to clean up the Anacostia River. The story was written by local children's author Sharon Dennis Wyeth, who joins us live this morning to talk about the book. And you've got the doll. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning. This is Evette Peters, a DC girl, just like I was.
You know what? I wanted to talk to you about that. I was reading your bio, and it's fascinating how intertwined, really, your personal story is with this story as well. Tell me a little bit about your background in the DMV.
Well, I was born and raised in DC, lived in various neighborhoods, but really most of my childhood I was in Anacostia in Southeast, and that's also where my grandparents lived. The river was a big part of my life. I saw it all the time. I loved it, and it somehow wound its way into Evette's story too.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was reading how you said you never looked at the river as needing help. It was there for you and the people who grew up around it. And this project talks about essentially saving the river. How did it even come about, and why did you decide to tell this specific story about it?
Well, an editor from American Girl contacted me based on some of my own work. They had already decided they were going to place the World by Us launch that includes two other dolls that are behind me, Evette's friends, McKenna and Maritza, in the Washington, D.C. area, and they knew that I came from D.C. But that was it. I placed Evette's grandmother, one of them, in Anacostia, and I also thought of an environmental theme. American Girl wanted a child that was biracial, mixed race, and also a burgeoning environmentalist. So I somehow found those two threads in my own memories and imagination, and here we are today.
Yeah. What do you hope children get out of this? And especially maybe children in Anacostia, right, who are growing up where you did?
Well, there are organizations for youth to help out the environment. We think of nature as something that's always there for us to enjoy and to inspire us with its beauty and its power, but human beings have to also take care of nature, and there are things that kids can do. If they have a river of their own, they can be a part of a cleanup or learn more about water testing. There are exciting programs I've found out in DC that are directly related to the Anacostia, and if I were a child and it was going on, I would have wanted to be right there in the middle of it.
Yeah, and this is a great way to introduce them to this. I'm curious, and it's funny asking you this question because you've written many books. What's next for you?
Well, I have a book coming out in May, actually, from Random House, and it's about Juneteenth. It's a nonfiction book, but written for younger readers, and that too was an exciting project for me to research, explore, and to find just the right language for the history and then the holiday, or the commemorative day now, the national holiday, the way we celebrate it today.
Absolutely. Lastly, where can people go, parents, kids, go to get more information on your books or get their hands on your book, this one specifically too?
Well, American Girl has a website, and The River and Me is available in many bookstores, and check out your independent bookstore, or if you need to go online, it's there too. Evette her story is about an American girl, a typical American girl that we can identify with, a free spirit, but also one who is very concerned about the environment, and she's a can-do girl. She does something about it.
We like a can-do girl. All right, local children's author Sharon Dennis Wyeth, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
You as well, Steve.